Hello, it's me.
What is going on, YouTube? It's good to see you again. I hope you guys are having a good, safe day. It is a beautiful Sunday today. Sun is out. It rained like crazy yesterday, but we are in good spirits. So, I have a good one for you guys. This one is basically an interview that just happened, and we're going to be covering it live. I say live, but it's really good. I've watched a portion of this, and I think you guys are really gonna like it. So let's get into it.
Good Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome to
Hello,
Sunday Morning
hello.
Futures. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I'm Maria Bartiromo. Today,
Maybe I
President
need to.
Trump, the president for peace. 9 months into his second term, the commander-in-chief is taking on the ruthless, the criminal, and the biggest terrorists of all. From narco-terrorists in Venezuela and Mexico to bullies and killers in Russia and Gaza. I met with the president this past week in his first interview since his historic peace deal in the Middle East, where he effectively ended the war in Gaza. And it was just hours after a 2.5-hour phone call he had with Vladimir Putin. As the
Right.
president
Wow.
is now turning his sights toward ending the war on Ukraine.
Good.
But in the middle of his peace negotiations and a meeting with
There she is
Special
again.
Envoy Steve Witkoff, the president first zeroed in on American families, announcing in the Oval Office more price cuts for prescription drugs and easier
That's
access to
insane.
fertility medication.
That's
I
insane.
was honored
They've actually already cut it like by more than 50%. So drugs are becoming affordable under Trump, which is just nuts.
to join the pool reporters
It's
in the
never
Oval
been
Office
this way.
to hear the president's progress.
Oh, look who we have. Look at that, the great Maria Bartiromo. I didn't know. Did you get put into the regular pool pack? That's very good. That's good. Nice to see you. I was so proud of myself because I was the first president in 28 years where drug prices went down
That's
for
true.
the year. And you know what? They went down 1/8 of 1%. But I was so 1/8 of 1%. Now I'm getting them down, Maria, 500, 600, 800%.
Yeah, I mean it's staggering.
And after the press conference, the president joined me in the Roosevelt
In fact,
room.
I don't even know how he does it. I mean, you're talking about, the food and drug in America is one of the biggest industries that we have. I mean, they're absolutely the Goliaths, and he's able to take them on and reduce these prices. I don't know how he's doing it, but I mean, the data doesn't lie.
Where he took us
It's
behind
insane.
the scenes of his historic peace deal in the
Like,
Middle
how do you
East.
just decide you're going to do that and then it happens? Like, he just thinks about it and
Started
boom.
probably with Soleimani. He was a mastermind who did a lot of bad things. He's the father
Yeah.
of the roadside bomb.
I heard
blew
about
up,
that.
and, most of the people are great patriots, are great soldiers that you see without arms, legs, and lots of problems.
I hate
he was
that.
the one. That was his way of saying we don't like you too much,
Yeah.
and affected a lot of people. That started one. But I think very big was recently with the taking out of the nuclear weapon from Iran. When we blew
That was
those beautiful
huge.
B-2 bombers, when they went into Iran airspace and they came out unscathed. I mean, the whole thing was the most beautiful military operation.
It was absolutely genius, and it went off without a hitch. I mean, they landed a bomb several times in an area smaller than a refrigerator from thousands of feet up in the air. And the crazy thing is, Trump blew it up to Kingdom Come, and we got halfway across the ocean before they even knew what had happened. So when you're talking about American military, you're talking about nobody coming remotely close. I mean, I hate that we had to do that because Iran was kind of screwing around a little bit. And the president said, "You've got by this time to give me something." And they said, "Ha ha, you're not going to do anything." And he said, "Watch this."
And they flew for 37 hours.
Don't mess with him. I'm telling you, he's crazy.
They went into that and they bombed the hell out of it. And
Yeah.
when we destroyed their nuclear capability, they no longer became the bully of the Middle East.
That's right. You take away the weapons from the bully, and now he can't terrorize anyone. And I mean, Iran has been terrorizing people since before Jesus. I mean, they've been an absolute menace in the Middle East for so long.
And we hit them a lot of other ways, along with it, Israel. And they no longer
Why can't we
became the
just get
bully. And
along?
if they were, we wouldn't have been able to make the deal we just made, which is basically peace in the Middle East, beyond Gaza,
That's
peace in
right.
the Middle East. And all of those great Arab nations, I mean, you look at Saudi Arabia and Qatar and UAE, those three, and then you have the ones that, as you know, joined the Abraham Accords.
That's right.
But they were able to breathe, they were able to do what they had to do, and they've been fantastic. But if we didn't take out the nuclear, there's no way that we would have been able to do this.
And I
Yeah,
spoke with you right
that's a
after
priority.
that strike on the nuclear facilities, and you were
Honestly, I think everyone should denuclearize, and there's a good reason why. Unfortunately, we know that's not going to happen. You know why? Because if you read in the Bible in Revelation, it speaks one of the visions that he saw was of skin melting off of people's flesh, people's skin falling off. That is indicative of nuclear war. And unfortunately, in the end times, it does mention that that's going to happen. So we know it's going to happen. Ironically, nuclear is way too powerful to mess with because when you think about it, it's not like a gun, right? When you have a weapon, you pull the trigger, well, the damage is contained, right? It's only whoever's in the line of fire. But when you do nuclear, you're making portions of the earth completely uninhabitable for the next 50,000 years, 30,000 years, whatever the half-life of plutonium is, which I believe is 10, 20,000 years. Just like in Chernobyl, it's going to be for the next 10,000 years before the half-life reaches the half-life to where it may be somewhat okay to live in that area again. I mean, that place is literally done for the next generations to come. It's going to be uninhabitable, which is just insane. And the trees absorb radiation as well. They're extremely active. So even if you get rid of the half-life of that, the trees still have their own absorption of the radiation. And I don't know if it's longer because the trees have absorbed it or if it's the same, but the trees have insanely high radiation potential.
so complimentary, obviously, of our
We don't
pilots.
want people to die
But
nuclear.
you also have relationships in the Middle East. You went to the Middle East as your first international trip as president. So was there some cajoling that you did with the leadership of Qatar and the leadership of UAE
Qatar.
to get them to make the case to Hamas, it's over?
So I've been friendly with them for years, and actually I became somewhat friendly during my first term, but I was friendly with some of them before I was a politician. And, it's vast wealth. Those countries are, incredibly wealthy. And they put out money, they invest money, et cetera, et cetera. They have tremendous oil wealth.
That's
so
right.
I knew a lot of them before, but I got to know them very well during the first term, and really well, now. But I got to know them very well during the first term. Qatar, as an example, the Emir, who's a fantastic man. Tamim, he's a really fantastic person. And, he's in the middle of a very tough little area because he's sort of surrounded by every little problem. And he has to play it close to the vest a little bit. He has to. Anybody would. Anybody that's smart, and he's very smart. The king of Saudi Arabia has done unbelievable. Now you have the king, and then you have the son who is, the king is fantastic. He's got a son who is phenomenal.
It's written in the Bible, just something that came to my mind. Whether you're a Christian or not, it doesn't, I'll pray for you if you're not. If you are a Christian, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a place in the Bible in Proverbs, I believe it's like Proverbs 4, where it says, a fool's focus is known at once, but a wise man is diligent with his words. Something to that effect. I probably absolutely butchered that. I'm reading through Proverbs right now, and that came to mind, and it reminds me exactly of what he's saying.
A little bit,
MBS.
Mohammed. And Mohammed's going to be a great
He has to
leader for
play
many years.
with his cards close to his
And,
chest.
Then you have
Wise
UAE,
man.
and he's incredible. They're all incredible people, but sometimes people don't realize that.
That's
and
right.
they really helped us a lot. Qatar was Qatar's the one that's most, vulnerable in that sense because it was right next to Iran, but they had great courage. And the bottom line is we got it done, and we did something that nobody thought was possible. We created, it's peace in the Middle East, and I think we're going to get Russia done. I think that'll be, it's not easy. I thought that would have been the easiest one. I have a good relationship with President Putin. I've always had. Don't forget, he had to go through the Russia hoax. That made it very difficult.
Oh yeah,
us,
especially
in
for
terms of
foreign
trade and other
relations,
things.
and that's Obama's
That
fault,
hoax
by the
was
way.
just a disgrace. So now we have the
Yeah, Obama. Unfortunately, the facts are Obama started that and leaked it in an attempt to get Trump not elected in 2016. I don't know if they're going to indict Obama. I think he's too much of a dry, old, crusty bird to be a threat. At this point, he's so old, he's probably going to die within the next 15, 20 years anyway. I don't know if Trump's going to have respect for him, even though he would have legal right to put him in jail.
the war. The
But
first time we
we'll
had
have
that,
to see.
Now we have the war, but there's a great potential for trade there, and I hope that we're going to be successful. Ukraine has been very brave.
Well, you came at the peace deal with the Qataris as a business person. You were a business person before
That's right.
the commander-in-chief.
And
So
that's good.
Is that
That's good.
the case you made for the Qataris?
We don't give away
explain
things
to
for free.
Hamas, think prosperity, think peace, think
Well,
riches,
'Cause someone has to
business.
pay for it.
I don't have to make too much of a case because they're very smart people. And
Yeah.
frankly, if Iran stayed strong,
Right.
like as a military threat, I wouldn't have even asked them. They would. There's nothing. It's right. They're neighbors, right? They're right.
Yeah,
next
they
to
could
you.
just
You literally would
take
walk
it,
into
yeah.
one or the other.
Yeah,
So I didn't.
it's not smart.
It was really the decimation of Iran that got us there. Without that, we couldn't have gone to the next step. And then we went to the next.
And I mean, Iran, it's not like we took out their capital and we destroyed their cities and we destroyed their tribes and we took out all of their political leaders. Like, we didn't touch any of that. We literally just destroyed their ability to make nuclear weapons. That's all we did. And it's amazing how after we do that, now they're playing fairly. I'm just telling you, you disarm a bully and it does great things. They have been holding the Middle East hostage for so long. People were scared to death of them. They ruled through terrorism. And, it's nice to see that this peace deal can actually happen because they took the gun away from the bully.
Except, and now we have a deal. And I think it's a deal that catches on. It's a deal that's respected by everybody.
Yeah.
We had Arab countries, Muslim countries. We had everybody. Israel approved this deal. Bibi was very brave. Bibi was a great warrior.
I love that
And
name.
yet, as soon as you left, Hamas executed 7 people, and then they went on to execute 30 more.
Yeah.
Do you believe they really will disarm?
No, I
Well,
don't.
they promised they would. They said they would. It's down that they would. Now they said they were gang members, et cetera, But these are very violent people.
You can't trust. You say, oh, are they going to disarm? I don't trust a liar to do what they say. I just
This
don't.
is a very violent part of the world. Nobody's seen violence like this. If we have to, we'll
That's
disarm
right.
The U.S.
Yeah, and
Well,
I suspect
whether
we
it's
will
me or
have
the
to.
U.S. or it's a proxy. Could be Israel.
We have the
our
ability to disarm for
We won't
sure.
have boots on the ground. There's no reason to.
In the past, you've said Gaza could be beautiful, it could be developed, and
Yeah.
you said you wanted to develop it.
Well,
Do you
not
have
me
plans for
develop-
that?
Not me as an individual.
The U.S.
I liked it as like Freedom Place. You call it Freedom Place, and
A hub for
we
America.
would get all of the people that live there into decent homes throughout the region. If you look, Egypt has a lot of land. Jordan has a lot of land, right next door. A lot of countries have a lot of land. So I had an initial vision that we would get them, look at Gaza. I mean, there's nothing standing. The whole thing it's all rubble.
Yeah, it's
So
obliterated.
it's not too hard to top that.
Exodia!
And we build houses and would be paid for by the wealth of the wealthiest countries are there. Although
We're going to build a
if we
wall
win
and
tariff
Mexico's
case,
going to
which
pay
hopefully
for
we
it.
will, It's vital to the interests of our country. We're the wealthiest country there is. If we don't,
That's true.
we'll be struggling for years to come. I've ended, of the 8 wars that we just mentioned, 5 of them have been ended because of tariffs.
That's right.
The threat of tariffs,
That's huge.
as an example, kept India
That's
and
huge.
Pakistan, 2 nuclear nations, from going at it. They were going at it. 7 planes were shot down. That's a lot.
I mean, people, unfortunately, the liberal media, and, I'm sure there's wonderful people, good people that are on the Democratic side that watch these news medias. But there's a reason they're losing credibility, because they have lied to the people and said that Americans are directly going to pay for tariffs. And the reality of it is, through the tax cuts, through everything, I've actually noticed price coming down. I mean, under Biden, gas was $2.95, $3.10 where I live, for unleaded, 87. And now I filled up yesterday and it was $2.51. So I mean, when you compare apples to apples, I mean, under tariffs, we're actually making good trades. The price of everything has come down. I mean, cereal prices have stabilized, oatmeal's stabilized, all of these things. Eggs, they used to be $30 for 60 at Walmart. It was actually $33. Now, when I was in college, they were $4. But just recently, I went and bought eggs, actually last week, a 60-pack of eggs, and it was, gosh, what was it? It was $11.99 or $11.97. It was like $12. It was $12, but that's $12 when it used to be 33. So, I mean, to say that tariffs, we're going to pay for them, I think that's just ludicrous, because tariffs get us into these deals, and Trump was doing it as a means of leverage, not as a means. Trump's whole campaign is on lowering prices. Do you think he would risk being impeached by raising the price of everything just to make a little bit more money for the government? I mean, that's just not very smart. So I think the reality of it is tariffs, and he's on par to making, I think, like $20 trillion in his first year. It's like 10 months. I think Biden brought in like $4 trillion over 4 years, or like $3 trillion, which by the way is not a lot of money over 4 years. That's compared to what the government is spending. It's not even a drop in the bucket. But I'm sorry for that big aside, but got me on a rant there.
War. And the Prime Minister of Pakistan actually just said President Trump saved millions of lives by him getting that. And I said to India and Pakistan,
tariff open trade like nobody's business. It's so good.
I'm not going to do business with you. We're going to put on a 200% tariff.
You got to understand, like, India was completely inaccessible to the U.S. Their entire market, and India is one of the biggest places. Like, they have one of the biggest markets aside from China. I mean, they're massive, and we couldn't even get into it. Now, all of a sudden, we're in it.
Which will make it impossible for you to deal, and we're not going to do business. No, they said. No. And after 24 hours,
like or hate Trump,
war, because
he's a great businessman, like unbelievably good.
I want to talk a little about your backup plan, should that not go your way. But just to close the loop here, so are there plans for the U.S. or for yourself to help develop Gaza?
We are going to have a board of peace. You heard about it. And they've asked me to be the chairman. This is what I needed. But it's very important that to me, peace in the Middle East, that's a big thing. I've heard the name,
it really is,
all my life. Peace in the Middle East. For 3,000 years,
it couldn't be done, though.
Happened.
Right.
When you spoke to Vladimir Putin, did you tell him that you were considering sending
Even Bill Clinton gave Trump praise for getting the deal done in the Middle East.
I've been asked by Ukraine if they could have.
And I think Obama did too.
And I'm looking at it. I spoke with Vladimir Putin about it. Not that he would be thrilled. It's a violent, vicious weapon. But we have to remember one thing. We need them for ourselves, too.
That's right.
We can't give all of our weapons to Ukraine. We just can't do that.
No,
and
no, that's funding the war.
Very good to President Zelensky and to Ukraine, but we can't we can't give, if we're going to be short, I don't want to do that. I can't jeopardize the United States.
Did you get any sense from Putin that he would be willing or open to the idea of ending this war without taking significant property from Ukraine?
Well, he's going to take something. I mean, they fought, and he has a lot of property. I mean, he's won certain property. If you say that, he's won certain property. We're the only nation that goes in and wins a war and then leaves, like we did.
That's right. We don't take
under
anything.
President Bush in the Middle East. We go in, we blast the hell out of everybody, destroy the place, and then we leave, Remember, I used to say, keep
Good manners.
But I really didn't say, I said two things. I said, don't go in, but then they went in. And I said, well, don't go in, but if you're going to go in, keep the oil. But we didn't keep the oil. What do? We go in, we blast it to pieces, and then we leave,
Billions of dollars of equipment,
Is there a timeline to get Hamas to disarm, in your mind?
Not a timeline, not a hard line, but we're going to see how it all works out.
He's thinking about it for sure. I can tell that answer. Yeah, he's thinking about it.
Understand? You've been covering it for a long time, but we're going to find out. Don't forget, 50,000 of them have been killed, okay? So they killed 1,200 people in the October 7th attack. It was an attack. They killed 1,200, but Israel can say that we killed 50,000, and so you'd say it's a whole new set of people, and it is. I mean, they get replaced by other people, young people, but we're going to find out. So it's not a hard time.
I want to know who does Trump's tan. I need them to do me.
At a certain point, if they don't do what they're supposed to do,
I need to look like a bronze hero.
Do you expect an expansion of the Abraham Accords?
I do, almost soon.
Okay.
I don't want to use the word immediate, but soon. The Abraham Accords are a miracle in a way. And the 4 countries that went in initially, including UAE, highly respected, big and highly respected, they stayed in, and they're doing incredibly well. I mean, they're basically trading with Israel and have access and everything else. I mean, it's good for everybody. I hope to see Saudi Arabia go in, and I hope to see others go in. I think when Saudi Arabia goes in, everybody goes in, highly respected. And the Crown Prince, who's also the Prime Minister and the King in waiting, his father's such a wonderful man. He's still healthy, and he's still very sharp. But I think that they're going to all go in very soon.
So they've indicated to you a willingness to do so.
Oh, they have, even as recently as like yesterday.
Okay.
I had some very
That's good to know.
Now, they couldn't have done it during the war. They couldn't have done it with the fight with, the fight that was going on with Iran as a power. With Iran as a power, that's why the 4 original countries really, they were somewhat courageous of them. And they did it with Iran as a power, and they made the right decision. And then they stayed during the war. A lot of people thought they'd have to get out. No, the Abraham Accords are amazing. It's amazing, and it'll help bring long-lasting peace into the Middle East. Nobody thought they were possible either. But the big thing is what happened over the last few days. It's been pretty much incredible. Just like your ratings are incredible, it's been incredible.
He had to hit her with that.
Now, the Biden administration is saying that they're taking credit for the peace plan. Anthony Blinken said that they laid the groundwork for the peace deal before leaving office.
So let me just tell you how crazy it is. They backed Iran.
Yeah.
They backed Iran totally.
They did.
They deserted Israel. They deserted everybody.
That's right.
And they backed
That's
Iran.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah.
It started with Barack Hussein Obama. He went
That's
into
right.
Iran.
That's right.
And let's say that
I hate it. I wish it wasn't true.
We would have right now a nuclear-powered Iran, because
That's
Iran
right.
was on its way to a nuclear weapon.
That's
under these
absolutely
people.
right.
And so when we do it, rather than saying, although they did say congratulations. I mean, Biden said it. Hillary
That's
Clinton
right.
said it.
That's
A lot
right.
of
Yeah,
people
Hillary.
said it.
And
The
Bill
only
Clinton.
one that I heard say that was Blinken.
Right.
And Blinken didn't, he wasn't good at what he did. He was a lousy negotiator.
That's right.
And
Bless him.
for him to try and take care, just so you understand, they did the exact opposite. They didn't set groundwork. They set the opposite of groundwork. They
Right.
set
He had
traps.
to work against some of their shortcomings because they did irreparable damage in the Middle East with their weak foreign policy. especially Barack Obama. I mean, he pretty much dug a grave, unfortunately, that Trump did have to overcome, and a lot of those relations were still, and those feelings were still there when he was under negotiation. But the Middle East does love Trump, and I think because the Middle East is so into, like being aggressive, ruling with force, ruling with strength, being a dominant leader. I think that's why they respect Trump, because Trump is unwaveringly righteous in his convictions, or at least he seems to be. And I think the Middle East really looks up to that vindication, and they respect him a lot for it. There's no doubt that the Middle East respects Trump way, way more than Obama and Biden and Clinton. In fact, some of the leaders have even said so, and you can look that up on Google. But yeah, I mean, just
they
nuts,
wanted,
just
and they
nuts.
felt strongly that they wanted to back.
I'm just glad we have a president. Whether I agree with him or not, whether you like him or not, that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is stats. Like, what is objective? What does the numbers say? Let me make my own decision. And the reality of it is, the numbers say that Trump is the best Middle East president. And that's a godsend, because they are very dangerous, they're very wealthy, and they're very angry. And so a lot of our relations have to be good because they are very strong. We have to respect them as having the ability to do damage. And it's very good that Trump is after peace, because he definitely doesn't have to be. He knows we have the strongest military on planet Earth. Nothing comes close. He knows all this, but he's still trying to seek peace. And for that, I commend him very, very highly.
Iran
I like
over
peace.
the rest of the Middle East. And they did it with Obama, and they did it with Biden.
Obama!
Now, Biden didn't know what he was
Obama!
doing, so it didn't matter. But his people that surrounded him in the Oval Office, the people that worked the auto pen, the people that signed all those
That
signatures
sneaky
illegally
auto pen.
because he had no idea what was going on.
Sneaky, sir.
So all those signatures that were signed, except his son's signature, I think he signed for Hunter. I think that was actually because it wasn't nearly as neat as the auto pen. The auto pen was much better.
Well, if they're using AutoPen, then the reality is that's a possibility.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily.
All right, and that's about it for the video. So it was a bit of a longer one. Thank you so much for spending some time here. I really like to catch the things that are coming out like immediately and then get them onto YouTube as quickly as possible. If you did enjoy the content, or you like the fact that we're releasing stuff almost daily, well, actually, we are releasing daily. If you like the newest stuff as early as possible, then please consider subscribing. I hope you like the video. Whether you agree with Trump or hate him, you are still welcome at this. I urge people to question everything. Don't just accept things. Your neighbor says, oh, Trump's evil. Well, why? Let's ask why, and let's be peaceful. Let's understand the facts, and then let's come together and have a debate, a negotiation, and competition in opinions and beliefs is actually what makes your beliefs stronger. So we want competition. We want people who are not necessarily fighting each other, but debating each other logically. We need opposing views. It is essential. Because if you don't, you create an echo chamber, and we do not want an echo chamber. So thank you so much for watching. If you watched the entire video, don't forget to leave a like and leave me a comment saying I watched the entire video. Again, it helps us grow. Just started this channel, and we are absolutely doing insanely good on the watch time and the subs. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Peace.